Welcome to another episode of the Monochrome podcast. Today's guest is Kyle from Glasgow Pop Punkers, Misplaced. Would you
Yep.
say that's a good way to
Yeah.
describe you guys, pop punk?
Yeah, so yeah.
So let's just jump straight in, man. Tell me a little bit about the band history, how you guys formed, any changes to who you were originally, obviously changing identity, because you guys have obviously grown quite a lot as a band over the past couple of years anyway.
Yeah, like I've been at it for quite a while, like with some other sort of projects. Kind of some of the same members are in Misplaced at the moment, that we have just now, and some are not. Like an old band called Another Time Around, which is God, a good couple of years ago now. We play like sort of like old school kind of pop punk stuff. And then we're in Deadbeat Paradise, which again was sort of kind of old school stuff, and then we done Misplaced, started like 2019, and again a few different members, and now finally managed to get the right kind of set up. It's taken a little bit of time, but now with everyone that's involved, everyone seems super like keen for the vision and stuff, so it's going well.
Yeah, I think that's a thing that you find a lot with bands, particularly in our scene, is they usually do take a bit of time to hit their stride and find their identity. But
Yeah,
you guys are, I think you found your niche now almost.
yeah, for sure. Like I've always like kind of had a vision for like this band, but never really been able to do it. Obviously, like when I first started, I was like just a really shit musician. um, so I would just like kind of get guys together and stuff, but like often at times, like a lot of the guys that were in the band and stuff were like way better than me. But like I was kind of like I had the vision there of trying to get together like what Misplaced is eventually now. But kind of just kept working at it for years, just kept trying to get better, and um, now we've managed to kind of take it to where we need to, which is really cool.
I mean, not that everybody can see, but you are sitting right in front of a nothing nowhere flag right now.
Yeah,
So I guess it could be fair to say maybe your music taste has evolved, or watching artists that you like has helped you kind of go, actually, I don't want to do this traditional pop punk vibe anymore. I want to incorporate certain elements of
yeah,
different genres.
yeah. Like I mean, I've always been like I would probably say like pop punk and like hip hop are probably my two biggest genres. Hip hop more so. I think just like these days, hip hop's just way more like exciting, like rap. And obviously with the kind of emo trap scene stuff, the SoundCloud stuff that came around when like Young Lean and stuff started, and then like you had like guys like Peep and stuff to kind of blow up and Juice World. Like that's just kind of a sound that when I seen that stuff, I was like, oh my god, like this is like combining my two favorite genres. Like it's amazing. Like, and I feel like pop punk bands, like I feel like they should all like kind of take note of that kind of thing and be like, it's cool to see that like the genre can evolve. And there's so many cool pop punk bands doing that kind of thing now, like um Magnolia Park and stuff like that. Like loads of like cool like infusing two genres, which is really cool to see.
Yeah, one band in particular that's doing it as well. That, to be honest, when I listen to obviously the stuff you guys have put out now, because obviously you took some of your back catalogue down, I believe.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of people, as you know, have compared you guys to Neck Deep a bit, but I actually hear more of a Point North influence than a Neck Deep one. I don't know, is that a
Wow.
band that you're actually influenced by, or is that just pure chance?
That's just pure chance, really. Like Point North, like I'd never really listened to them much, but like I'd obviously like heard the cover of like Hammer and stuff, but nothing nowhere, and they like it sounded amazing, and like they've got a really cool sound. Like I do enjoy them, but they're not a band that I particularly um would have said. So it's quite cool because like of course like the Neck Deep thing, like I've been having that for like years. You kind of get those comparisons, and that is totally fair. Like it makes sense. Um, but yeah, I think it's just like that way, like because or like if you heard me like a couple of years ago, like, I mean, I can't really sing that well now, but like I couldn't sing, like really couldn't sing, man. It was like it's that kind of like no effects fat mic thing that I've got going on, and where you just like just kind of terrible whining, but like it's just if you keep going at it, then eventually you kind of like you can start to do a little bit at least.
I mean, to be fair, man, I guess who wrote the rule book on who's good and who isn't, you know? Like, you're using your
Yeah.
voice, so do what you want.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
It's just an extension of yourself. So would you say it's fair to say you guys are like, I guess, pop punk with a slight hip hop or like, you know, modern emo influence, I guess, because that's
Yeah, I think like I mean we're influenced by like quite a lot of like sounds. Like we're all like into loads of different genres and sounds. But yeah, and mainly like that's kind of where I come from is like pop punk, obviously, like from all years of it, like kind of like your Neck Deeps and Stories So Far, and then I like love Blank and Green Day, and I love NoFX. Like I love the whole spectrum of it. But yeah, like I really do enjoy like that kind of like SoundCloud type sound. I just think that's way more interesting these days. Um, and that's kind of where I'm kind of drawing a lot of influences.
you know, speaking of which, another band in Scotland that's kind of going with that vibe, you probably already know Happy Days, like
Yeah.
very
Oh
similar
yeah.
kind of niches, you guys.
Yeah,
Like
those guys
kind
have
of,
got a really cool sound for sure.
but
Um,
yeah, like it's. I think I was speaking to a friend the other day actually, and I was just like, you know, obviously you guys have kind of started blowing up, like you know, in comparison to like a lot of bands in Scotland, because I think when you know Woes dipped, there was this big void left to fill in the
yeah,
Scottish scene in particular. There wasn't really like a USP for like a pop punk band. Yes, like there was obviously a lot of local bands who were playing that kind of, you know, like that neck deep generic pop punk tagline kind of stuff.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I think you guys are starting to get a lot of traction and attention. Do you think maybe that might be down to just how the scene's evolved over the past year, like with a lack of certain bands and just a space to fill?
Yeah, I think so. I think like obviously like Woes were dominant for a while there. And I mean they were such a dope band. Like I remember like supporting them like when we were in an old band, Deadbeat Paradise, who supported them on like a they were doing like a small tour. We played in Garage Attic. They were headlining, and like just to see them go from that and then like supporting Neck Deep and then like supporting like Seaway and like going ahead and just like starting like touring like Europe and stuff. It was like, well, these guys are like, it's so cool to see like a Scottish band can actually do this. Um, and that kind of gave like me and like us the belief that like, right, yeah, we can kind of get in about this and like people do enjoy like listening to the Scottish pop punk the way that they do, like because obviously like UK bands have had quite a lot of success with this over the last like couple of years, and like the US of course. So it was, I think Woes are like sort of like the catalyst for allowing like Scottish pop punk bands to kind of have um, a chance. Really,
Yeah,
which
like
is really cool.
honestly, I can't think of any pop punk bands that came out of Scotland that like actually managed to export to like Europe and stuff. Because as you probably know from watching Sharpie's documentary on their tour, like they have a following or you know they were well respected. Like
Yeah,
it's not just like they were just this random little pop punk band that came out of you know they they kind of like I think they influenced a lot of bands in our scene and they will continue to do so for at least a few years.
yeah, oh yeah, I totally agree.
Did you
And
guys not
it's
actually support them on their last show as well?
yeah, yeah, we supported them in their final show, which was really cool. That was like that's our biggest show to date, probably. It's kind of crazy because like obviously we're having like quite a lot of success just now, but like this has all been like after the pandemic, so it's really weird when people say like that kind of success, and we can see like that our numbers and stuff are like doing way better than I've ever done before, but because we're still like in our homes and like we can't go out and like play shows and stuff, like it still doesn't feel like, but like we still don't know, like we could go out and play a show and we might be playing to like 10 people or something. We don't really know what to expect really.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, in regards to streaming numbers, I was actually thinking about this and I was like, I think you guys are literally doing the same kind of numbers that Woes were in their peak before they dipped. Very similar. If it's not the same, it's not far off. So, you know, that could be exciting.
Yeah, yeah,
Obviously,
for sure.
like they were lucky in regards to getting to tour Europe and stuff, which is just a little bit more difficult now, obviously.
Yeah.
But you know that could be on the cards for you guys. Obviously, signing to We Are Triumphant. Do you want to just talk a little bit about how that happened?
Yeah. So we were actually quite lucky. So like just before the pandemic happened, like we went down and recorded a couple of tracks. We went down south to Whitstable, so it was like pure right down in Kent, right down the bottom of the UK. Um, we went down there in like March last year. But I mean, it was literally to the point where when we were down there, there was talks of like the first lockdown beginning, and we were like, "Oh my god, I don't know if we're going to be able to get back up." Like, because we were down, and there was talks as well of like tanks rolling into London and stuff. Like, it was going to be like chaos. Like, we actually headed back up the road on the Friday, and it was like the following day the bars were shutting for good. It was like, okay, we're going to shut the bars, and then we're going to see where it goes from there. So we managed to get a couple of tracks done, and then um, kind of sat on them for a couple of months while everything was kind of kicking off, because at that time, that kind of March, April time when it was first lockdown, it was kind of crazy. Um, and then we finally released the first one we done, Fuck That, I'm Alright. Um, then we put out the music video and stuff. And then what happened was um, Nico, who's our A&R from We Are Triumphant, he hit us up and he was like, I've seen your video, like I've seen your song on Spotify and stuff, like I'm really digging it. Do you want to have a chat? And then we had a chat with him, kind of just talked about our future plans and stuff. And then, yeah, the rest from there was kind of history. We just got on really well, and it just made sense for us to, to sign with him.
Was that quite a nerve-wracking conversation for you guys?
Yeah, definitely. Like when we first like had it through, we're like, oh, like I mean, we knew like that the song and stuff was good, and we knew that we kind of had a cool video and stuff for it, because we used a guy called Andrew Goch, who is edited like quite a lot of, like hip hop videos and stuff like that. So we knew it was like quite cool aesthetic that he could pull for the video, um, but we knew it was like quite a cool look. But once we had like attention from like We Are Triumphant and stuff, we were like, wow, like this is like quite quite intense, yeah. And then but once we spoke to Nico, um, and then we got to speaking to like Greg and stuff at Triumphant, like it made total sense. Like those guys totally understand the vision that we're going for, and it feels now like we've got additional members in the band. We've just got like people part of the team, and it's like yeah, a great decision we've made.
Yeah, I mean that's huge. Like you look at some of the bands they've had on their label, like the one that comes to mind for me is Wonder. Don't know if you're
Yeah, yeah,
familiar. They kind of pop punk and bassic, you know, top tier vocalists. I'm sure you'll probably
yeah,
agree with that one. Man's range is insane, but they're putting bands like that out, so it's really cool. I actually just saw Bitterwood signed as well, so it's
yeah,
cool to see some Scottish
yeah,
bands getting out
definitely.
there. 'Cause it happens in waves. I feel like it's a thing that it's like a pink moon or something. It only happens like cyclically. Like it's not like a regular
Yeah,
thing.
I know
So
exactly what you mean. Yeah, it
you
feels
know,
like there's a kind of cool wave like going on in Scotland just now, and like obviously you guys are like releasing stuff now, which like it sounds dope, man. It sounds like the
very
best stuff
much,
to
man.
date. So like it's nice to see like kind of everyone in Scotland starting to like take it up a gear, 'cause it just
Yeah, I
feels
think
like
the scene's really is ramping up. Like
yeah,
it always has like a little, a little dip. Obviously, speaking of that, like obviously we work with, I guess, similar creatives. Like we work with Mark Sharp. You guys have been working with Sharpie a
yep,
bit lately, haven't you? Like I think you do tend to see the same kind of the names popping up. Like Mark Sharp, obviously he did stuff for
yeah, yeah.
loads and loads of massive bands. Was that like a deliberate thing? Is that like did you know you wanted to do some stuff with him or anybody
Yeah,
else you've
we
worked
kind
with?
of
Just
like
talk me through like the
so
creative.
basically what we done is like before when it came to like photography and stuff, like we would just like have like favors and stuff from people. So we'd know people who had like a camera, like a good camera, and they would like be willing to take photos for us, and they kind of wanted to do it for like their own like kind of experience and stuff, which was cool for us. But we just decided like right, we want to like kind of take it to someone who like is like kind of doing it like at that professional standard where we can kind of get the best out of it. Um, because that's what we done with our music video for "Fuck That I'm Alright," and that's like we ended up getting signed off the back of that. So we're like, right, well, we need to like kind of find the right creative people who understand our vision and put the money in their hands. So, yeah, we obviously done our research, and like when Mark and like the people he's worked with, it kind of speaks for itself. Like his work's amazing. So yeah, it kind of just took our vision up a notch too. getting involved with him.
Yeah, I mean that's obviously really cool. Like working with Mark, I can say he is the utmost professional. Like the man's just he knows what he's doing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like magic behind that camera. I don't know how he does it because there's like photos, like we're getting photos taken, and I'm sitting thinking like, God, like I must look terrible here. And then like you look at them back when he sends them, and you're like, what did you do? Like this is like fucking some magic.
Mate, honestly, I remember speaking to him once and he was like, "Oh yeah, I just used to use this like really old version of Photoshop and that's how I learned to edit photos." And I'm like, "So what you're saying is struggle for a long time and you'll be good?" It's cool though, man. Like, obviously, you probably know we did some videos with him, and he's like getting us to play the song like fucking twice as fast, and it's already quite a
Yeah.
quick song. And he tells us this like on the spot, and we're just like, "Fucking what?"
So you need to actually, yeah, like
And
play it double time.
it's just like, how did you manage to make the double time takes of this song look good in half time? Like it's slow motion, is it? It's
Yeah.
nuts. But like obviously I saw you guys all also worked with, is it Ian
Yeah.
Sadler?
Yeah.
He produced one of the guests I've already had on the
Oh well.
podcast. You know, you might know Decay.
Decay, yeah, yeah. Decay, yeah, they're
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, I'm good friends with Matty,
Okay.
but yeah, I'm pretty sure he produced their EP and their
Yeah.
LP. He's very highly thought
Yeah.
of. So how is that? Like,
Yeah, like Ian is like just he's a wizard. He's like so good. Like again, like we've worked with like loads of different producers. We worked with like a few in Glasgow. And then we went down south and worked with the first time we ever went down south to work with someone was Ricky Beatleston, who he's worked with like guys like Dude Trips and stuff before. Um, and when we went down and worked with him, it was like an eye opening moment because it was like working with someone who um like was a fan of like the music that we play, because like whenever we like worked with like a lot of people in Glasgow, this was like a couple of years ago now, like we never had couldn't find anyone that like when you would say to them like we play pop punk, they would think like, oh, Green Day. And you'd be like, well, no, not really. Like but once we went down there and worked with Ricky, we realized like, whoa, like our sound can be taken up a whole step by working with the right kind of producers. And then um once we'd done those songs, we'd then shopped around again and worked with Ian, and that's when we started to just like find like misplaced sound. Like he's just a really great producer. Like he's got a really good ear for it. And yeah, we can just bounce off him really well and just create some good music.
yeah, I think that's definitely like a rarity, especially in Scotland. Scotland's so heavily dominated by, I guess, the whole indie punk vibe that it is difficult to find someone who, I don't know, someone who recognizes a Strymon pedal sound, for example.
Yeah,
Like, something that's not just throwing like a vintage tube or something on a guitar, because obviously not what you guys need and not what any bands that kind of niche needs. Like,
yeah. Like
I think,
the kind of like craziest part for me was like when we went down and he had like an Evertune bridge. So like the guitar would just never go out a tune regardless of what you do with it. Like, and it was like it created that sort of like, that kind of punchy like wall of sound that like rhythm guitars have in pop punk music. Like you kind of, to achieve that you really need to have like those kind of like an Evertune bridge where you can just kind of like smash the guitar, but it just stays in tune. Um, and it was like just an eye opening moment. It was like, God, like all this time, like we've been working with these guys, and no fault of their own to discredit these guys. It's just they didn't. That wasn't the sound they like were into, or like would claim that they were like that was their thing. But just that once we realised like, okay, we need to be like using these techniques, because as you know yourself, when you go into a studio and you work with a producer, they show you so many different tips and tricks. Like just through watching them, you can see like, God, like this is how you produce this sound. This is how you get that type of tone. And um, yeah, I
yeah,
would
of
always
course.
encourage people to like kind of work with as many different producers as possible until they find like someone that they're like, yeah, this guy gets it.
Yeah, like obviously, like you said, shopping around is really important.
Yeah.
So, do you think you guys will work with Ian again? Obviously, now you guys have a bigger platform, but do you feel like he's just the right person for where you're at the now?
He definitely is in terms of like the production and stuff. Like there's no other engineers like that. There's no the UK really that comes to mind. There's obviously like there was like Seb Barlow and stuff who is does like there's obviously his like catalog speaks for itself. But he's like
Every
a
pop
neck.
punk band in the UK ever,
Yeah,
probably. Yeah.
exactly. In some way. But yeah, like he's obviously like super busy with like neck deep and stuff now. So Ian is just like great for what we do. But what we do, like we're looking at now, is kind of like outsourcing some of the mixing. Because obviously with mixing, you can kind of take that anywhere over the world. So again, we're just going to do our shopping around with that and see if we can take up like the next couple of tracks that we've done and take it to another level also.
Yeah, obviously, I think a lot of bands do that. They'll find a producer they enjoy working with, and then they'll outsource mixing and mastering just because it's nice to have a fresh
Yeah,
set of
for
ears
sure.
on it, I guess.
Yeah, because you can get bogged down if you're like sitting like if you're recording all the music and like spending like weeks or whatever recording something, and then like you have to go back and sit with the headphones and mix and master it. It's like everything will start sounding the same.
Yeah, it must be like such an exhausting process. One of the reasons I said I could never be a producer, like I don't have it in me to look somebody in the eye and go, yeah, that was a shit take. You know, I could not do that.
Yeah, God, that's the most important thing as well, though. Like you need to like kind of just go in there and just expect to be battered by just like no again, 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 like and just kind of leave the ego at the door and just let the producer have their way
Yeah,
with it.
I, I I know, man. It's like obviously every producer works differently as well. So yeah, it might even be a case of you could work with this great producer, but the way, like the process of how they record and stuff, just might not work for you.
Yeah, exactly. It's like relationships, really. Like just it's different strokes for different folks. So you just kind of need
That's
to
it
like
exactly.
find find your perfect match and then um yeah, work with them as much as you can.
Well, it seems like you guys have got, like a really solid team around just now. Like you said, it was a process of experimenting with different people and having people come and go from the lineup and that. But I can't see it, drastically changing from where you are now, if that makes sense. Like it seems like you guys have
Yeah,
definitely set the foundations now. Just time to get the ball rolling.
yeah, that's it. I mean, it took a little bit of time, but now we've got like everyone involved that we want to be involved. Like we've got with the label as well, Omar. He's been doing like a lot of the sort of graphic design stuff for us, like that we put on our stories and stuff, and he done like our merch design. He's just like super talented as well and gets our vision and like understands what we're about. So it's just like building that team is like so important. As you know, like just once you build a team of people around you, like the rest just starts speaking for itself.
Yeah, it's very organically done. A lot of people don't realize that it's not this thing that you've got to force.
Yeah,
It just kind of
exactly.
falls into place with a bit of work,
Yeah.
obviously. With that being said, obviously you guys have worked a lot through the pandemic to build your brand, but like, have you guys got any like cool gig or tour stuff lined up?
We've got nothing like in concrete lined up at the moment. We're just kind of in talks with a few people. Like we're speaking with the label and stuff about potential shows and stuff in future as well. But yeah, right now it's so hard, like because obviously we're seeing like bands and stuff booking now for like August is like the earliest I'm seeing. I don't know if you've seen any earlier than that.
I think you might be right. Yeah, August. Like obviously, quite a lot of festivals were cancelled, and there's ones that take part usually like after July that are going ahead. But I think it will be August,
Yeah,
September,
yeah, that's
optimistically.
the way I see it. Is like optimistic. I'm worried about it. Like I think like I really hope to God that they do come back because it's been far too long. Like since we've been able to play a show or see a show, but um, it's just I guess it's just also still so up in the air.
Yeah, I'm heavily opinionated on how the creative arts have been handled, so we'll stay away from that so it doesn't turn into a big political music rant. But hopefully you guys will obviously get some stuff locked down for like fall, for any American people who might be checking us out because you're on an American label now. That is autumn.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's cool, man. Like, fingers crossed. Speaking of which, though, is there like a dream tour lineup? And this could be literally anyone. Like, I've had some of the fucking weirdest combos. I've had like the Pixies on the same lineup as like the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, like
Like just like anything basically.
anyone, anybody you'd like to tour with,
Um,
essentially.
I mean, so many bands that would be cool. Like I'd love to tour with like to be honest, I'd love a lot of artists I'd like to tour. I'd like to tour with the baby. I feel like the baby would be such a funny one. Because he's just like got a pure crazy energy. I feel like Slow Tie would be another one that would be cool because again he's just got a really cool energy that he brings. Maroon 5, I like to play with those guys.
That's actually quite a surprise. I wasn't expecting Maroon 5.
Yeah, no, Maroon 5 is like one of my favorite artists. Funnily enough, which they've got like they used to be a pop punk band, believe it or not. Um,
Yeah, like I think I've actually heard some of their like really old stuff before they went like I guess
yeah,
commercial.
yeah, they kind of used to sound a bit like Green Day. But yeah, those guys like that just. I mean, that Adam Levine's voice is just like golden.
Oh yeah,
Um,
like, you can't pick a hair off his head. Like the man, he's one of them where it's just his notes are
yeah,
perfect, and I hate people like that because I'm so
I know
jealous.
what
It's
you mean.
like
Yeah, I'm the same. Like I sit and like sing those songs like when I'm practicing and stuff, and I'm like, one day this will sound good.
if you're anything like me, you're probably sitting there like, how the fuck do you do that without
Yeah,
yelling?
yeah,
You know.
it's insane.
That's a really cool lineup though, but my reaction to you saying Maroon 5 is kind of like other people's reaction when I say The Fray are one of my favourite bands of all time, and not because of How to Save a Life. So fucking sick of hearing that song, but they are an actually good band.
I can't say I've listened to
It's
much of them, but How to Save a Life is a
they
banger.
get
To be
memed
fair,
they get memed so much because of that song, but like nah, they deserve better.
yeah. I guess if you get memed, it's not a bad thing. It just means that you're doing well in some way.
Here's the trick: meme yourself. Set up a meme page, roast yourself, and nobody can get you.
That's it.
It's
Yeah,
great.
that's
Works a treat.
the perfect way.
So, like, thanks for coming on and chatting to me, man.
No
Obviously, I'm
worries.
really looking forward to hearing the EP, and hopefully, people have already heard the collab with "Say We Can Fly." What the
Yep.
fuck, by the way? What do you want to quickly, actually, before we close this off, tell
Yep.
me a little bit about that? Because he's pretty huge.
Yeah, oh, for sure. Like that was a bit of like a pinch yourself moment, like when we get to work with him, because like he's just such a big artist, and like I've known about him for years and like been a fan of his stuff. So it was really cool. Like he is signed to the same label as us, so um, the label made that happen for us, which was really cool. And like it was one of our old songs, and we just got him in to do like a feature part and can do some of the production, and done the mix. And yeah, just his part fits in so well. It's just it's so good. It just makes the song pop.
Yeah, that'll probably, give you guys a little boost in terms of like your traction and stuff as well, which is already growing. I think you guys were on like, correct me if I'm wrong, like 33K monthly listeners on
Yeah, I think it's
Spotify,
that. Yeah,
something
just
like
now.
that.
Yeah,
I mean, that's only going to go up. I can't see that going down when you drop the EP, you know?
yeah. We hope so. I mean,
It'd be concerning if it did, but I'm sure it'll keep growing,
yeah,
man.
we're just kind of keep plugging away at it. Obviously, just waiting for things to go back, with like live and stuff, and just keep taking this as far as we can take it. Really.
Yeah, that's it exactly. Like you guys haven't even had a chance to go out and really like scrape the tip of the iceberg with the live shows yet. Like
Yeah, like
all it takes is, I guess, one cool tour with a band that are, like a little bit bigger, and you could be off, I
yeah,
guess.
that's the hopes. But just fingers crossed that things start getting better and these vaccines work and we can get back to some sort of normality.
Fingers crossed, man. Thank you so much for coming on.
No worries.
Before I let you go, do you want to just let everyone know where they can find you
Yep.
guys?
So you can find us on all social medias at Misplaced UK. And you can also find me on um, Instagram at Kyle Misplaced. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much
Cool, that's perfect,
everything.
man. Be sure to check out the Misplaced EP, which is dropping as this episode drops. And thank you so much.
No worries. See ya.